Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Fowler and Friends Fantasy Fishing. Excited for this one. Everything seems to be lining up for a really good tournament. The Bass Pro Tour is going to hit Lake Murray, I think, right at prime time. And this week's upcoming tournament is not one you're going to want to miss for sure. Let's go over our results from last week on Douglas and Cherokee. So we had a total of 319 pounds and 12 ounces for a finish of 5,602. Not our best showing, for sure, which was surprising because we had 7 anglers in the knockout round and only 2 of them advanced to the championship day. So I was really expecting a lot better, but I don't think we did too bad. You know, to have 7 of 10 anglers going in the knockout round. I think we had a pretty good team picked, and the cards just weren't dealt in our favor. We had Ott Defo and Jacob Wheeler on the championship day. Want to throw out congratulations to Keith Poche on the win. Pretty cool and interesting way he won that, taking his small tin boat up the river to those falls and catching those big smallmouth. It was pretty cool to see him do that. So Douglas Cherokee finished out with Keith Poche first, Dakota Ebear second, Michael Neal third, Spencer Shoefield fourth, Justin Lucas, Matt Becker, Ott Defo, Jacob Wheeler, Todd Fairclough, and Nick LeBurn to finish out the top 10. Congratulations to all those anglers. Well-deserved and well-played tournament. So we're excited for Stop 3, Lake Murray, South Carolina, April 2nd to the 7th. The variable minimum weight for this tournament is going to be 1 pound 5 ounces. We're looking at a 5,000 acre impoundment, 650 miles of shoreline. That is just unfathomable, the amount of shoreline on that lake. And if you go on to any type of mapping system and just see the number of chutes and cuts and draws that lake has to offer, and the contour depth and change, it's crazy. It's a very cool lake to look at, very cool lake to break down. So it's mainly a largemouth fishery. It has some good ones in there. Your forage is going to be sunfish, bluegill, shad. It also is a blueback herring lake, so we'll have to see how that plays. Our structure for this lake is abundant. We got rock, docks, flooded timber, laydowns, grass, which includes coontail, and lily pads if it's the right time of year, and all sorts of stuff. So this is one of those lakes when they say, 10% of the lake holds 90% of the fish. This lake's so big, I believe this one's going to be true. So it'll be really cool to see who breaks this down, who gets on the right pattern. We should probably have fish in all stages of the spawn. We'll probably have some that spawned early, we'll have some that are spawning now, and some that are still coming up. Just with how massively sized this lake is, I know they don't all spawn at the same time, so we could have all 3 stages of the spawn. The deep channels, the large flats, the points, the cuts, the pockets are numerous. I mean numerous on this lake. It looks like jagged edge of a saw everywhere you go around the lake, which is pretty cool. It's going to be interesting to see how they break it down and what pattern they get on for this tournament. We got good weather coming, so our weather is starting on the Sunday the 2nd and at Lake Murray. We're going to have temperatures ranging all the way to the 7th, from 69 degrees all the way up to 86 degrees, with your overnight lows being the coldest on starting morning of 49 degrees and then being 58 or higher overnight for the remainder of the tournament, which when those overnight lows start staying consistently like we're going to see this week above 60 degrees, I think we're going to have a huge push, and definitely a good portion of this tournament will probably be won bed fishing and spawn fishing. So those are going to be our styles that we're going to be looking for. You know, there's going to be the sight fishing guys. I think we'll see big swim baits, maybe even a glide bait play. Probably wacky rig, maybe drop shot, things of those nature. Your moving baits will still play, depending on what pattern they get on. So if they're doing the bed fishing thing, we'll see the bed fishing thing. And if they get on a dock pattern, which could be a twofold bed, you know, that could be a spawning pattern, but not sightseeing spawning pattern. So you could see jigs play. I don't know if the moving baits will play a whole lot. It depends if they find post spawners or pre spawners that were staged differently than the spawners. We could see, you know, jerk baits, crank baits, spinner baits, things of that nature play. We're looking at mostly. So the beginning of the tournament is coming right off a thunderstorm, so sunny, high pressure on Sunday, but then we're going to have partly cloudy to mostly cloudy, and then isolated thunderstorms on the last day. So we're going to have a little bit of wind and mix of clouds. Those clouds, you know, depending on how much they wash out the light, and whether the sight fishing will be good or bad, and then how much rain they get out of the thunderstorms. On Saturday before the tournament, will there be muddy water in play, clean water? So it's just going to be a pretty cool tournament all around. Our picks this week are based off several factors, and I'm attacking this a little bit different this week because the new format, my old tactics that kept me up there in the thousands and, you know, right around the 1,000 to 1,200 place mark last year aren't working this year, and I'm contributing that to the new format. It's a totally different type of tournament now. There's a few of those patterns that are still working. Momentum's not playing as big this year as it was last year. We only got like 2 people that have really, really good momentum. Ott Defo is 3 for 3 top 10s this year. So the first 3 tournaments, so the first 2 stops in Redcrest, he is placed in the top 10 every tournament. Jacob Wheeler is close to 3 for 3. He had one 11th place finish, which is close enough to top 10 for me to say he's had 3 top 10 finishes to start off this year. And then the rest of the field has been a mix of guys. A mix of some old school guys and young school guys. So that's what I did for this tournament. I mixed up my picks to incorporate more of the old school guys in my rotation, and I'll be feeling out the waters on their tournament performances based on what I know they're good at. So Group A for this tournament, I got Jacob Wheeler, Marty Robertson, Casey Ashley, Andy McGuntry, and Dakota Ebear for my Group A's. For my Group B's, I have Ott Defo, Zach Burge, Dustin Connell, Michael Neal, Jesse Wiggins. So Jacob Wheeler is never bet against Jacob Wheeler, right? We're always going to have Jacob Wheeler. I picked Marty Robertson. He's a South Carolina native. He's had some good finishes over the last couple tournaments. Picked Casey Ashley. He's pretty consistent on these southern style reservoirs. He does really well in like Louisiana, South Carolina, North Carolina. So I picked Casey Ashley. Andy McGuntry is really good with the way this lake's going to set up with the bed fishing and the spawning. He's a really good spawning fisherman. So I picked him. Dakota Ebert has had some good finishes, a mix of top 10s, and has been fishing good, and his consistency's picking up. At Defo, he's on the 3 for 3 train, so I expect him to continue on that path and probably have a top 10 finish or better at this tournament. He's also a big fish guy, and he's dialed in and continues to catch some decent sized fish. Zach Burge, another guy who's been on a good streak, good run. He fishes Texas a lot. He did, and Lake Murray's gonna set up. I mean, I know we're talking Highland Reservoir impoundments versus Lowland, but I have a feeling the way Lake Murray sets up will be more to his strengths than the last couple stops have been. Dustin Connell, he's just my guy. I like Dustin Connell. You know, he was close. He's had two top 10 finish. He was top 20 at the last tournament. I think he'll do good. If he can get a pattern going on pre-post spawners, because you know he'll admit he's the first one to admit that he's not a great spawn fisherman and a bed fisherman. So if he gets on a good post pre-spawn bite, if he can find that, he'll do well. Michael Neal's been doing well. He's had a top 10 and close in Redcrest and whatnot. So I have a feeling he'll do well. And Jesse Wiggins, just another guy. You know, all of these guys are making it to the knockout round. They may not have all of the top 10s championship days, but every one of these guys that I've picked is making knockout round. And that's kind of what I'm looking at now as we progress through these tournaments. I want to see who's consistently making knockout round, because if they can consistently make knockout round, then the shots of them making top 10s are better, and then our odds improve. So, and you still got to take into consideration where they're fishing, how the lake's setting up. Is their fishing style set up for that lake in the conditions it is? You know, it's a lot of things to piece together, but I really do think that these group of guys switching it up, I have a gut feeling that they're all going to do well. We'll have to see, right? But that's what the cool thing is about this. You know, it doesn't cost anything to play, so we can play around, and it may take us this year to get dialed in to this format and how the pecking order kind of settles out, right? We had 2 or 3 years of the old format, and kind of you could go through and extrapolate numbers. You could pick one guy and go through all the tournaments and go, I think they go back to 2019 on their website. All right, how do you do here? How do you do here? But that was for the old format. Things are shaking up, and that strategy's not really working for this one. And then it's fishing. There's always a variable out there that we'll never be able to see or prepare for. So those are my picks for this week. I'm excited for this tournament. It should be a great tournament. Please, guys, like, subscribe, share, but more importantly, even if you don't do that, leave a comment. I really want to start getting a banter going back and forth between us and the channel. If you're into this fantasy fishing thing, you know, my picks are locked. I'm not changing them after I put up the video. So leave me a comment. Like, I want to see how you guys are doing, who you're picking. You know, we can chat back and forth in the comment section. You know, maybe I should have picked this guy and why and whatnot like that. And no harm in any of that. So really appreciate you guys for following along. And tight lines this weekend if you're headed out fishing. Hopefully your fantasy fishing picks into, you either end up in the top 25 with a rod and reel combo, or maybe you'll be that lucky winner that gets all your guys to the last day and you win that brand new truck and boat. That's what we're all shooting for. Fowler and friends, casting off.